Hannah Brown promises her first novel has some steamy scenes to offer, but alas, there's no sex scene set in a windmill. The windmill does not show up in this story, she says, with a laugh. But hey, maybe for projects in the future. But there are definitely some steamy scenes in this book. Everybody likes to have that moment where you blush a little bit as you're reading, and you really see the fullness of what is a relationship and what creates romance and connections to people. Brown first appeared on Colton Underwood's season of The Bachelor before going on to star on season 15 of The Bachelorette, and she famously proclaimed her enjoyment of a sexual experience with Peter Weber in a windmill on that season's. After the Final Rose special, she has had her fair share of public romance, but now Brown is turning to fictional love stories with her first novel, Mistakes We Never Made, which will hit shelves on May 7, 2024. EW can exclusively reveal the cover for the novel, which follows two former debate team champions, Emma and Finn, on an epic coastal road trip. Years ago, they almost fell in love and now, pushed together for a wedding weekend. All Emma can think about was all the mistakes they almost made together and never did. When the bride runs away, Emma and Finn have to bring her back in time to walk down the aisle, only to find themselves on a whirlwind trip that finds them tempted to make those mistakes all over again. Check out the cover below and read on for more from Brown on the novel and why she's always loved reading. Hannah Brown. I've always been an avid reader. I've always loved what a novel can do, to be able to escape reality and go into this other world and learn a lot about myself along the way. Even if it's a rom-com, there's always something that I can relate to. That's what makes brilliant novels the best, is when it tugs at those heartstrings. This is a dream come true as someone who's grown up reading religiously. Where did the concept of second chance romance and a road trip come from? I wanted to make this an epic summer read, having a group of girlfriends, a road trip, rivals to lovers, and a beautiful beach setting is the perfect combination of that. So really just going off of what I enjoy in reading and then taking some of my own personal experiences and sprinkling them in there and coming up with this great novel for people to enjoy and to relate to. It's funny about romance. We know what it is, and yet we still are so hardcore rooting for the person, knowing what the ending's going to be. But maybe that's why we like them, because they're all a little bit different, but predictable in how they're going to make you feel while reading them. This cover has some lovely southwestern vibes and a vibrant orange and pink palette. Did you have a wish list going into the design process? I wanted it to be a beautiful cover. There are definitely some trends when it comes to romance covers and what we like in the market and what as readers gravitate towards. I really do appreciate a piece of art on the cover that gets me immediately intrigued. So, I wanted something that was really beautiful and a watercolor treatment of everything. The book and the setting is a road trip, and we find ourselves at some pivotal moments in the book in a setting like the one on the cover. I guess it did. I didn't think of it in that way, but my love life did inspire the story. I've had the most grand and romantic moments, which there are instances of that, but some of the most beautiful moments in a love story are the times where it's very intimate. So, how to create that in the story for the reader to experience was really important to me. Whether it's a touch or the way that somebody looks at you, how do you encapsulate that in your writing so that the reader really experiences that? That is what makes for beautiful romance. My time on reality TV was in Los Angeles, and this story takes place on the coast, and that's where my love story started with my fiancé too. I took some inspiration from those parts of my life and those places that I've been and the beauty that is there. Were there particular authors that inspired you in your writing process? Emily Henry is the queen of romantic comedy. Now that this book is done, it's amazing to feel like this is something that I think Emily Henry would be proud of as well. It's that same type of read that people love when they pick up a book from her. She's really the one that resonates the most with me. That's where I get most of my inspiration from.